Okay, this next lesson is called Adding and Subtracting Polynomials. Hannah, once again, is with me. Hannah, what's up?
Hi.
Hi. So adding and subtracting polynomials is basically going to come down to adding like terms or combining like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same variable to the same power. So Hannah, you've done problems like this before. This is a really easy example of what we're going to do. 3x plus 5x, what's that?
8x.
8x. You add the coefficients or the numbers in front of the variables. Now, before we proceed though, let's talk about that word polynomials. What are polynomials? Well, we have three specific types of polynomials that we'll be looking at: the monomial, binomial, and trinomial. A monomial is what you've known before as a term. Okay, it's a product of a number and a letter, or a number and several letters, or it could just be a number like 3, or just a variable like x, or 3x squared like we see here, or even 3x squared y squared. It's just a term. A binomial is two terms, or two monomials separated by a plus or a minus, bi like bicycle, and a trinomial is three terms separated by a plus or a minus, tri like tricycle. Anything with more than three terms, we just call that a polynomial. Poly means many, many terms. Okay, so adding and subtracting polynomials. Adding like terms is what it comes down to. Here we have 5 terms, Hannah. Now, which terms are alike? Keeping in mind that like terms have the same variables to the same powers. Which one is like 6x squared?
X squared.
X squared. Which one is like 11x?
X.
X. And 1 is just by himself. He doesn't have anyone like him. 6x squared plus x squared. What's that, Hannah?
7x squared.
That's right. 7x squared. 11x plus x?
12x.
12x. And 1 doesn't have anyone to add them to. In between, we put pluses. So I want to also say that I put these in order from highest exponent to lowest exponent. We have x2, x1, and no x. And then this is done. We put like terms together. Okay? Okay. The title of the lesson is Adding and Subtracting Polynomials. Here we are adding a trinomial plus another trinomial. Okay? Before we begin this problem, we're going to do the big switch. Whenever we have a minus, we change that to plus negative. That's a negative AB, keep that in mind. And that's a negative B squared, keep that in mind. We have 6 terms total. You can pretty much just ignore the parentheses in this problem. Hannah, I want to look at terms that are alike. Okay, I've got 3a squared. What's like 3a squared? Which one is like 3a squared?
Negative 4a squared.
That's right. Negative AB. Is there another term like negative AB?
2ab.
2ab. Which one is like 5b squared?
Negative b squared.
That's right. Okay, now we're going to add them together. 3a squared plus negative 4a squared is what?
Negative a squared.
That's right. Negative 1a squared, or just negative a squared. Negative ab plus 2ab. Combine these two.
Positive ab.
Positive ab. And 5b squared plus negative b squared?
4b squared.
4b squared, that's right. Okay, and this one's done. We just added like terms. In this one we have 2 variables. So I put them in order from highest exponent to lowest, but I'm looking at the A over the B. You want to look at the letter that comes first alphabetically. So A2, A1, no A. That's how we put these in order. That's a big question people have, Hannah, is what order do you put these in, right? Okay, and our final problem is a binomial minus another binomial. Okay? First I want to do the big switch. Anytime we see a minus, we want to change that to plus negative. And here this is plus negative. Now this is something unique for this problem. When you have a minus sign outside of parentheses, that's like a negative 1. And it's a negative 1 that you want to distribute. Remember, distributing is multiplying. We want to multiply this negative 1 by each term inside the parentheses. That's basically going to change the sign of each term. So these guys stay the same, 2x squared plus y squared. This negative 1 times 3x squared is negative 3x squared. And negative 1 times negative y squared is positive y squared. Okay, Hannah, how many terms do we have?
We have 4.
4 terms. Which ones are alike? You want to draw the lines? Connect them?
2x squared is like negative 3x squared.
Right.
And y squared is like y squared.
Right. Okay, so what is 2x squared plus negative 3x squared?
X squared. Negative x squared.
Good. I was going to have to say that myself, but you corrected yourself. 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1, negative x squared. And y squared plus y squared?
2y squared.
2y squared. That's right. And that's our answer. We have an x2 and a y2, an x squared and a y squared, but we want to look at the letter that comes first alphabetically. So x squared comes before 2y squared. And that's the lesson on adding and subtracting polynomials. It basically comes down to adding like terms. Like terms have the same variables to the same powers. And remember, if you have a minus term, you want to do that big switch and change it to plus negative so that you can think of it as being a negative term. If you have a negative sign outside of parentheses, like we saw in the last problem, think of that as like a negative 1 that you need to distribute inside the parentheses, multiply inside. It's basically going to change the sign of each term inside. And, well, Hannah, I think we've gotten pretty good at this. Why don't we give you all a chance at home to do some problems so that you can get ahead?